Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tribal Trades. We have the Stock Show, which is right now my weekly show on Sunday that I bring you before just summarizing the week just been and looking forward to the week ahead. I also have all of my stocks that I am trading in my cheat sheet. Listen to the stocks. My cheat sheet is below in the description. Click that below. And it's the first link there on my cheat sheet. Also, just remember, if you are not in the Stocks with Josh Discord, the most amazing Discord on the planet, you can also sign up and join that. And there are stocks and there's a crypto channel, and I'm in there on a daily basis. There are two separate channels in there. Well, there's lots of channels actually, but there are two separate main channels, one for stocks and one for crypto trading. Okay, so we're going to jump into the news. And before that, you know what I'm about to say. If you've been watching the show regularly, smash that like button. This helps get the channel out to more people, helps grow the channel and support the channel. Really appreciate that. And do really appreciate you wherever you are tuning in from around the world. I want to welcome you. And certainly, I hope you enjoy the show today and get jumping into it. They're absolutely fantastic. So first of all, some stats here I thought were very interesting regarding an election year, that the S&P performance for the year when a new US president takes office. So you can see what has happened. It's generally always been quite a good average annual return since 1990 has actually been plus 12%. And so only 2001, which was the dot-com bust, was it any different there? So I thought that was fairly interesting. So fairly bullish when a new president takes office there. Some value buy stocks there that I feel were interesting to have a look at. And the stock market is all about buying quality at cheap prices. These are 7 high quality businesses trading near their lowest price earning ratio in the past 5 years. Google is at the top of that list. We also have Visa and Celsius, Amazon, Paycom, Chipotle, and Disney as well. And so you can check out all the information here. Go to the Dividend Dude, and there's some great information there to check it out. I'm not going to do a deep dive on that today. And obviously only 2 of those I'm invested in Google and Amazon. They're both on my cheat sheet. Okay, also there are some dividend stocks. If you like getting dividends, here are some of the top dividend stocks that you can just buy and hold forever and get payments from these companies: Visa, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Philip Morris, S&P Global, JP Morgan, Google, Costco, Wholesale, Johnson & Johnson, and Domino's Pizza. How many of those do you hold? I only hold a couple of those. I may look at adding to some of those, but certainly you can see on my cheat sheet the ones that I'm currently holding out of that group. Interestingly enough, there's a great story about an investor who made a lot of money. I'm going to give you the end of the story before I give you the beginning of the story. But he just had a 3-stock portfolio, which was Amazon, Costco, and Berkshire Hathaway. And he held these compounding multi-baggers for 10 to 20 years. And the name of this person, I'm going to get to the top of the story here, Nick Sleep. And he achieved a cumulative return of 921%. A cumulative return versus the MSCI World Index. And so this is how he did it. And so it goes into how he did it. And there's a great thread to break it down. I did want to show you the different companies and why. Certainly thought that was very, very interesting there to look at somebody who was just very patient and just held 3 stocks: Amazon, Costco, and Berkshire Hathaway. Do you hold any of those stocks? And have you trade a little bit like Nick Sleep with that just longer term look view of the market? Also, I thought it was really fantastic. I read an amazing story about FedEx. I never knew this. It kind of just really blew my mind when I found out about this. FedEx was 7 days away from bankruptcy. The CEO, Frederick Smith, took the last $5,000 and flew to Vegas and went all in on the blackjack table. Here's the story. Check it out on Timothy Salinger. It's quite a story. It's quite a thread that goes on and on here. And I thought it was quite amazing. And of course, FedEx done well in the stock market since the 2022 low. It's up around 100%. So absolutely pretty unique way of saving the company there for FedEx. Going on the blackjack table at, at Vegas. So here you can see what has happened since 1929. Generally, a lot of people been a lot of bearishness. Oh, there's going to be a rate cut and the stock market's going to go down, but that hasn't been the case. 1929, generally after the first 12 months, after the first rate cut, we've seen some pretty decent returns. Obviously, in 2001, the dot-com crash and the global financial crisis of 2007 were the only two outliers there. Otherwise, over the last around about 100 years, been fairly positive there. So I thought that was a fairly interesting take on that. Also with Tesla has been a underperformer compared to the Magnificent Seven. It's down year to date. Will it finish the year in the green? Investing Visuals have it overvalued. They have the fair value at 178. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? What do you think is the fair value of Tesla? Certainly the market values it right now are much higher than what the fair value here given by Investing Visuals there. I thought that was fairly interesting. Also, the S&P has a bit of a cup and handle formation there. Sorry. We've jumped ahead here on a news article. So if you bought the S&P 500 at market open and sold it at market close every day since its inception in 1993, the SPY, you'd be up just 13.3%. This means that the vast majority of the gains have occurred after market close and before market open. Buying the market close and selling the next open saw a whopping 992% gain. So basically, you want to buy the market close and sell the market open, and you will get a much better return. By comparison, the total return by simply holding the ETF during this period was 1,138%. So after hours trading is more important than ever. I thought this was just an absolutely fascinating take on the SPY there, and maybe some information that can help you with your trading there in what you're doing. For sure, that was pretty awesome. I thought value of 10,000 invested 5 years ago, pretty amazing. It just shows the importance of getting in early and holding. As I'm not sure what the investor who said it's not about timing the market, but time in the market. Nvidia, you'd be up 285K, 220K for Bitcoin, 139K for Tesla. Facebook, you'd about 52K. Certainly, yeah, I guess for Bitcoin, 5 years ago, 10,000 invested, probably that might seem about right. Certainly, if you invested in Bitcoin 10 years ago, that amount is going to be way higher on Bitcoin there, but just shows you the kind of returns that can be gotten by just buying and just holding. That's why I like my strategy that I have. I have one account where I hold and just wait and I'm more patient and take profits when there are really high market tops, and then one where I just trade the swings and just swing trade there as well. And so we'll check out my cheat sheet in a moment and see how some of those stocks have performed. Also, as we can see here, the S&P 500 cup and handle. That's right, because we were going to have it before. It just set up at all-time highs. So there's a cup and handle all-time high, and you're bearish. See you at 6,000 based on the 161.8% fib retracement. Do you think this is going to play out? Do you think this is going to break out and go to 6,000? Or do you think this is going to drop down and we're going to invalidate this pattern? Let me know what you think in the comments below for the S&P 500. So fun fact, I did not even know this, that MicroStrategy isn't even part of the S&P 500. The real fun starts when it joins. Every investor will have an allocation in Bitcoin, whether they like it or not. Awesome stuff. And I'm an investor in MicroStrategy, and I'm super bullish on MicroStrategy, by the way. Okay, we also have the restaurant performance indicator, something I had never heard of before. Fell by 1.3% in July, the lowest level since the 2020 lockdowns. This index tracks the health of restaurant industry in the US by measuring sales, etc. And since 2021, this metric has fallen a fair bit, obviously. And such a low level in the index has only been seen during recessions. Americans are pulling back on dining out as prices have been sharply rising and recently hit new all-time highs. So that's very, very interesting data there coming in, and certainly does again show the importance of taking in profits, locking in profits, and having stop losses on your trades. Okay, so Palantir is. I recently added this stock to my portfolio, and boy, I'm glad. And in my cheat sheet, you see I will have aggressive entries and then more conservative entries, and it only hit my aggressive entry at around $30, around $29, I believe I was able to get in. It's popped up to 35. Will it just keep going, or will it come back and hit some of those other entries? This is why I have the aggressive entries on there. That's why they're called aggressive entries. They're more risky, but if you're dollar cost averaging and building positions, which I like building positions, it can be very bullish. It was awarded a 99 million price contract for R&D, and so you can just see this is continuing to grow, and this could be in the years to come. Could this be another kind of NVIDIA kind of situation where you get it now while it's cheap and it absolutely crushes it? Let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and find out. But certainly we are up already on that trade, crushing it on that trade. Speaking of NVIDIA, so the CEO has been selling his stock, and I don't have a problem with that necessarily. I mean, guy's got to take profit. I'm not really sure what he's paid. I'm sure he's probably paid a pretty penny, so I'm not sure why they're taking stock. Maybe he knows something that we don't know. He's sold shares worth $700 million in the last 3 years. Nothing to see here, folks. So certainly keep your eye on NVIDIA. And again, NVIDIA, not NVIDIA. Again, I'm taking profits aggressively on stocks as they go up, and then buying back in lower, taking profits aggressively and growing. So let's see what shakes out with NVIDIA. And let's go to the cheat sheet here. And as you can see on the cheat sheet, we have all the orange as areas that got hit. And as you can see, we got 3 buys got hit here for Apple. And we're looking at taking profit at these levels. You can see everything's been hit. All of, even Palantir got hit, S&P 500 got hit at 538, able to take profit at 560, locked in the first level of profits. If it keeps going up, 610, lock in some more profits there as well. I've certainly hit profits twice on Tesla. First of all, I went up to 260, took profit on it, got in on the pullback, and then back up again, took profit on at 230. I'll take profit again at 260 and then 315 if it keeps going. And then I'll look at buying back in at these levels there. And that's how I have been able to swing trade these stocks. Some of these haven't hit some of their take profit levels. I'm just going to be patient there and continue to accumulate at these levels. Some of these stocks are still in their buy levels. So let's check out them now as we go to the charts. And let's start with Apple. Apple is still in a little bit of a buy zone. What I will say with Apple is just above the 50-day moving average here. So here is an Apple. If you're not in the Apple trade, you want to get in the Apple trade. Looks like we've got a retest. Okay, so we're just under the 50-day moving average. So we've come up, we broke above it, and we came back and we're retesting it. And we kind of failed the retest, but if we find a good bounce here and up, it can be good to take a trade on the 50-day moving average and to ride this up, hopefully, as it goes up. If we continue to break down from here, then you may want to put a stop loss on here, or if you're trading my trading strategy, you would just add more to the position there as well with Apple. Okay, and then Amazon, we have Amazon at 186. So again, if we were to come down here and hit, where were we on the cheat sheet with Amazon? Amazon is just out of the buy zone right now. So Amazon left the buy zone, but if we come back for a retest of 180, I would add more to the trade there. And riding up, as right now, Amazon is not in the buy zone for me currently there. Certainly, we'll see if we can come back to that 50-day moving average sitting at 180. ASTS is now out of the buy zone. I did get some ASTS beautifully at both 28 and 26, and we'll be taking profit up at 40. Of course, if it comes back to these levels, I would look at adding some to the position for there. So we'll look there, but certainly as it's come up, it has set some higher lows here, And so we'll see. I'll probably draw a bit of a trend line and a wedge there to see if we break out from that. But certainly I'll update this week how we went with this trade. But right now it's looking not too bad. Certainly we would want to look at eating up this wick and creating a higher high here and getting this out here. But certainly that's showing a little bit of downward sell pressure there. So we might just have to be a little bit more patient with ASTS. Coinbase seems to track the price of Bitcoin. I believe it's still in the buy zones for Coinbase. Picked up some at 160, and I did pick up some at 200 and at 185. Of course, I've held Coinbase, so it was about $60. That's in a separate portfolio. This is a swing trade portfolio that I'm doing right now. So certainly there we could find some resistance there at the 190 and the 200 level, but a break above that and a retest, and we should see Coinbase off to the races there. And so certainly this is still a buy for me. Coinbase is an active buy right now, and so I'll be looking at adding to my position. Probably I did add some at 150, and I did say last week, if you did enter the trade with me last week at 150, this week you've seen it appreciate. It went all the way up to 169, and depending how much money you're putting into it, maybe that was enough for you to take some profit and get a good trade on that. Remember, these take profit levels are just guidelines. Certainly you can take profit earlier or later. That's totally up to you. All right, so the next trade that we're looking at here is Google. Google right now was a buy down at around, I think, 150. We had it as a buy for Google there. 150. We did pick up some at 165 as well. Certainly for me now, I would wait to see if we can break above the 200 EMA on the daily, retest that as support, and then that would be a good place to enter the trade there. If you didn't get in with me down at 150, would be at 155, whatever, would be a good place to. You could front run this, of course, thinking that you're going to push above it. If you feel there's going to be a further rejection, there could be some more buying areas down here that will get hit. I want to wait and see what happens here. Breakthrough, retest, off the races, and we might be able to ride that up to 169 to the next level of resistance there, 168, 169 area, the 50-day moving average. Okay, next trade here that we've been tracking along the way. Cheat sheet here for a minute. On the list here was Meta. Right now, this isn't in a buy zone for me. I'm going to wait till it comes down. Certainly, you could aggressively go after the 50-day moving average, which is sitting around about 506 there. So that could be an entry. I'm personally not going to take that entry, but certainly that could end up being a good entry, a breakdown, retest of that, and then a further push up. I would sort of prefer to get down here at the 200 EMA on the daily. The next one that we have here is going to be MicroStrategy. And so we go to MicroStrategy here. MicroStrategy Incorporated. You can see here the trade to take here, and you can see how powerful the 200 EMA on the daily. This is where I said to take the trade, and then we're off to the races, and we're getting stuck here at the 50-day moving average. So if we can break above there, if you didn't get in here, you can break above here, and on the retest of the 50-day moving average at 142. Is that where we're at? MicroStrategy up at 142. Certainly, yes, 141 would be a place that you could jump in on the trade there. Obviously, you could break down there, have a stop loss in there, or just if you're looking to play and build a position, just come and hit in there at 118 at the 200 EMA. As you can see here, we managed to get buy-in at that 200 EMA, and it's already up at 140. I'm waiting for that to come up to 160 before some locking in some profits, but we are getting a little bit stuck at the 50-day moving average. If we do pull back to these lower areas, I'll just add more to that position there from MicroStrategy. All right, NVIDIA was the next one on our list that we're looking at here. We're going to have a good look at NVIDIA Corporation. And as you can see, again, gave these entries down here around 100. This is actually a nice little swing trade. I've swung in and out of this a few times. You can kind of take profit, get back in the trade, take profit, and then I got back in the trade. And therefore, I'm looking for this to pop up, but we could have a little bit of resistance here, a wedge pattern. I'll look at those charts during the week and maybe look at drawing this out. I want to see how that plays in. But what's a good trade here? Look, if you missed the trade down here for NVIDIA, I'm going to change this to the 4 hours so we can see how it relates to the 50-day moving average. And we can get it on the retest of the 50-day moving average there. So let's have a quick look at that here. You can see that we have had a successful retest of it. And so 120, aggressive entry for sure. Definitely an aggressive entry. I like the 200 EMA on the 4 hour at 109 or down at 100 again, as you can see there. But certainly, this was where it also broke down from. You can see here on the 4 hour. So we got some resistance here. If you're up big from 100, this could be a time to take a little bit of profit here. But certainly, and maybe wait and put a stop loss just under the 50-day moving average. We break down from there. We could well come down and retest the 200 EMA on the daily, or even come down and retest the 200 EMA, on the 4 hour and on the daily, which is around 100. So NVIDIA is actually giving us some great opportunities here for just trading in the channel. And you can see it here even more clearly on the 4 hour. We've had a clearly established channel here. You can see up around the 130 to 140 and then down to the 100 mark. We wicked under it there. Obviously, I was able to pick up some at $90 odd, which was absolutely fantastic. I took profit up here around 130, and I'm certainly looking to see what it does at the 50-day moving average sitting there. So that's a possible jump in the trade there with the stop loss. See that we might see it take off, or if we see it break down under here, obviously there's a couple more levels to jump back into NVIDIA there for that one. So that trade is working fairly well. If we look at the next trade, we've got the Palantir trade. We did already go over that. We just got that one entry for now. I will quickly bring that up. There's not a lot more to say about that. It's not a buy for me right now because I already got in at a level that I feel was pretty good. Certainly the 50-day moving average is back at around that 28 to 30, or you can also, there's the $27 level, and on the daily time frame, it is way extended from that down at 24. I'm not sure. It eventually, I think, will come back. But where will this be? I mean, it could come back, and that's up here, for example. So certainly, if it does come back to that $28 to $30 level, or even that $26 level here, I've got some alerts set there. I'll certainly be adding more to the Palantir position there. But so far, that's a win, and you might even, depending on the size of your trade, you might want to lock in some profits, or you may just want to wait for this puppy. Hopefully we'll get to that $45 buy target. The S&P 500, certainly it's sitting at 560 right now. I'm not going to chart that. Got in at 538 and took profits on that at 560. There's also some other levels there if we do come down to that. But certainly, again, I would add to the position again if we were to pull back to around that 538 level. Soundhound, I'm not going to chart this one here. But certainly those three areas have been hit, and now it's just a matter of being patient, waiting for it to come up to that 585 take profit. And then let's finish off and have a quick look at Tesla here, the Tesla chart. We've certainly got the robo-taxi, possibly could send this thing to the moon. And look, it's fairly bearish, honestly. We're under the 200 moving average on the weekly. That's pretty bearish. And certainly we're finding rejection here. So where would be a good place to enter the trade? I think if we broke above this and a retest, could jump in the trade there if you're not already in the trade. Or if we drop down a little bit, down to 220, could add some more to the position. There's certainly more down at the 210 at the 200 EMA on the daily. And then the 4 hour also there is sitting at around 210 there as well. So we're getting a bit of some confluence here where we could see this really just explode out from here or explode to the downside, and we could come back to where, that company was saying that the fair value they felt was around about 178. So we could come back down to that area. And certainly if we do come back down to that area, by the way, I'm a buyer down there at about 170, 175. I might just change that a little bit because the chart's changed. You've got to move your things a little bit. I already taken profits on this twice. I'm back already in this trade. And certainly if we get back up to 260 and 315, I'll continue to take profits. And I'll look to keep the stocks updated as I can. Again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. Love answering those, and I get back to those as quickly as possible. And also, thank you for all the comments. I really do appreciate this. So hopefully you've been following and able to make some money along the way with me. And as always, until the next episode, happy trading.